Oh, bro.
Hey, Cognitive Gamer.
Bob.
Do you know what it is?
I don't like it.
That's not for you. That's for the entire audience.
Is that what that was?
You have
I don't think they appreciated that.
You have a girlfriend. I'm the one that's single. I have a special relationship with the audience, and that's what I'm doing right now. So screw you and your relationship stuff.
Hey, let's play a game.
Oh God, what?
Let's play. Am I wearing pants right now? I'm wearing pants right now. Are you wearing pants right now?
In a podcast, no one can see you're not wearing any pants.
So you're not wearing pants, are you? And now you're kissing them? So you're not kissing them without pants on.
I plead the fifth is what I do right now.
So what you just did was unconsensual, sexual.
No, because think about it this way. They made the decision to listen to the podcast. It's not my fault that I kissed them.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Your Valentine's Day is...
My Valentine's Day is going to be awesome.
Oh.
All of my dates...
See, this is the type of behavior that gets you fired from jobs.
I'm glad that we run this job that we're in right now, because otherwise we would be out the window.
You're going to file yourself for sexual harassment. I was just too sexy today. I couldn't stop touching myself. It was great.
I go to the HR department. I'm like, excuse me, Mr. Cool Guy here. I'm gonna report myself for sexual harassment for being too sexy.
Why are you the HR? You're probably the worst qualified person to be HR.
Because I'm the HR in my own fantasy, so I do not get fired. That's how it works in my head.
I feel like Cynic would be the HR in this company.
No, because
or would it be me?
He would probably laugh and then look around and then be like, "All right, fine. Here's a high five."
So I would be HR then.
No, you wouldn't be HR. No way.
Why couldn't I be HR?
Because then I would have to give you sexual favors to make the sexual harassment thing go away.
I don't think that's how HR works. It's not for whores regarding, spelled incorrectly.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's not for whole...
We're done.
Refilling.
We're done. So anyway, welcome to PostGrad Movies, the show that is totally not sexist. And I'm Cool Guy, as I obviously
think that was just
mentioned. And that's the Cognitive Gamer on the other side. And today we have a special Valentine's Day episode for all of you lovebirds and sad singles. That worked. That was a good alliteration. I like that.
Sad singles.
I almost said sad shingles, which, I mean, it's accurate, but that's not how it works. But anyway, we have a Valentine's Day episode, specifically because we'll be talking about Cutie and the Boxer later on today. And
the fact that we're going to give away something?
We're going to give away something. Apparently, we're going to give away something. So yes, we'll give away something.
You gave away your pants.
I will not give away. My pants will be signed. It'll say "Love Cool Guy." It's missing the button that clasps the whole thing together. So it's perfect for Valentine's Day because you'll be walking around and they'll just fall right off.
Easy access, right?
Exactly. Yeah, easy access. Exactly. So let's say at the end of the Cutie and the Boxer bit, we will offer someone something from Amazon, something cute and or yummy. So
and or boxing
and or it's gonna come in a box, so I guess that'll count.
Okay. Hey, that's pretty good. We can call it the Cutie in the Box, or a cutie for the box, or
maybe. Oh no, a box for the cutie.
A box for the cutie.
There you go.
Hey, brilliant.
All right.
Will you be my Valentine?
Are really good at coming up with names.
I choose you.
Wow. So anyway, let's get this show on the road.
Oh, it's already crashed and burned. Like it is off the road.
So let's pull this car out from the embankment and get it rolling again. So how was your week?
Missing a couple tires. The windshield's cracked.
How was your week, Cognitive Game?
It's been a blizzard. So I don't know if I'm in Philly and it's been blizzarding.
Just the whole time.
Pretty much. And it's weird because living in Colorado, it snowed all the time. But the snow in Colorado was different because it would snow, and then the next day it would just be gone. And then it would snow, and then the next day it would be gone, and then it would snow, and then it would be gone. Here it's like snows, and then the snow doesn't disappear until spring. And then on top of that, the city doesn't know how to actually deal with snow, because we've never apparently have gotten this much snow in a very long time. So literally, the plows will only go by once.
Really?
Like major highways will shut down.
I mean, you mentioned the fact that they don't know how to deal with the snow in last week's podcast, but
Yes, and they still don't. In a week's time, you'd think they would have learned, but no, they didn't.
the plows pass once and they're like, "Yeah, that's good. I think we got it covered, guys."
Yeah, and then the buses are like going sideways down my block, taking out all the mailboxes. Yeah, Philly. Yeah, it's like raining ice right now, which I didn't think was a thing. Like it's like 31 degrees, where it's cold enough to freeze, but not cold enough to be snow or something.
Right.
I don't. Let me look out the window. Hold on. Yep, it's still snowing. Yep, I'm a meteorologist.
I'm glad that you can point out your window and say, "Yep, that's snow."
um, yeah, it's weird actually being able to trust the weatherman.
Right, because
Because in
in
Colorado,
Colorado,
you just ignored that.
they go like, "This might happen. Oh, it might snow, or you know what? It might not.
Right.
Or there might be a tornado, or hail, or a tiny bit of rain, or just sunshine everywhere. It's all like a good 50% chance of all of those happening."
Yeah, it's like every single season, every single day. I think I've literally seen like rain, snow, leaves change colors, a tornado in one day,
Yeah.
and all the mountains were on fire. So I mean, it's Colorado.
It's funny because people might think you're joking, but no, 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 really. That is exactly what happened. I remember I was walking from the dorms one day all the way to plant sciences for my class,
Yes,
and
'cause I know where that is. Yeah.
well, but anyway, so I was walking there, and I remember I started walking, and it was sunshine, just sheer sunshine, no clouds, nothing. Then all of a sudden, it started raining halfway there. Then I was about 2/3 of the way there, and it started hailing. I finally get into the class as I'm getting pummeled by hail. Take the class, and I walk out, and when I walk out, there's about a foot of snow on the ground. And all the leaves are gone, and I'm like, well, there we go. I guess we're officially in winter now.
And that's the other thing. Like, there's not a gradual change in Colorado. It's like you wake up and it's winter, and then you wake up and it's spring.
Yep.
In Pennsylvania, it was a very slow transition. I wasn't used to it. Like, I actually saw leaves fall off of trees and change colors.
Yeah,
And then I
in
actually saw
Colorado.
like the actual progression of the weather, like dropping like 10 degrees every day, and now it's like progressively getting warmer. It's really weird.
Yeah, in Colorado, it happens in the span of a couple days or a week, where the trees go
Yeah.
like, wait for it, colors ground, and then it's over.
Yeah. It's the snow, man. That's my life.
Well, I mean, my life right now, weather related, is 90 degrees and on fire because Puerto Rico loves February.
Wait, you're on fire?
No, that was a joke. It's just really warm.
Yeah, how's that? How's being hot right now? Is
Well, considering the
that why
fact
you
that
have
I've
pants on?
that I've lived with it for, oh, I don't know, 20 some years, I think I've gotten pretty used to it.
Does Puerto Rico have a lot of overweight people that wear white suits
Oh.
that sit in rocking chairs and fan themselves?
No, that's Cuba, man.
Okay, so like it's mighty hot today.
It's mighty hot today. Wow, yeah.
Mighty hot today.
Yeah.
My impressions are impeccable.
Anyway, God, what else did you do during your week apart from
I learned
being
about
racist?
I learned about stepwise and forward multiple regression and how to control for multicollinearity.
Oh, well, that's
By using
fun.
the BIF and tolerance, not to mention Malhanova's and Cook's distance.
Nice. That's pretty
It's
cool.
stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's actually way more simple than I thought it would be. But,
Yeah, it usually is. There's a lot of fancy names, and then it's pretty dang simple when you get.
well, it's essentially like SPSS pretty much operates like a Where's Waldo.
Hmm.
Because you get a printout and you're like, where's the thing I need? There it is. It's buried between 500 different things I don't need, but I need this number. So it's like you're squinting at this page that just has hundreds of numbers, and you're like, that one right there tells me if this thing was a success or not. And it's like I feel like SPSS should just have like a psychology setting where it's just like, ding, ding, ding. These are the numbers you need. You can ignore everything else.
Yeah.
Because some of the numbers, that only apply if you're like some kind of crazy statistician. Statistician?
Yeah.
Statistician.
Yeah. That's the word.
Status testicles. Okay. I'm in a mood, apparently. Um, what else did I do this week? I played games.
Well, yeah. Well,
Dude, League. You should get into League.
you keep on telling me this. I know. I know.
Yes. It's become like a weekly, like a nightly occurrence now.
Really?
Yeah, people get on at 8 o'clock and we play until like 9:30, and then like 2 games, and then we're off. Every single night, pretty much.
Wait, every single night is
Every single night is League night.
wow. So you're slowly becoming more of a nerd than you were in college.
Dude, we played Yu-Gi-Oh in our dorm room.
Yeah, but you play Yu-Gi-Oh now competitively, and you play League of Legends.
I think I'm about equal on the nerd scale.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah.
League is pretty up there.
League is kind of broski, man.
Really?
Like,
come on.
Yeah, because I get on and I'm like, what up, my bros? And then we play.
That does not make it broski. You can do that with Yu-Gi-Oh! You can be like, what up, my bro? And just high five Cynic and go play. But that doesn't make it broski.
I don't know. I feel like League is definitely way more bro than, say, like D&D or something. But, then again, maybe not. Like, League is a great game to get 5 people. You get, like, a case of beer, and you're just, like, chugging them and chucking spells.
Keep going.
It's just... No, man, like, seriously. Like, it's great to get, like, your bros together, and you bro out. You order, like, a pizza, and you get some beers, and you play some League.
And what do you do in League? You do what with spells and...
But it's it's not that, like...
Okay, think about it this way. Would having pizza and beer present and have your bros, quote unquote, present as well, make LARPing any less nerdy?
I think so.
Really? Really?
Dude, LARPing would be so much fun, especially with beers and pizza. Beer bolt. Hops.
Well, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be fun. I'm just saying it would be the same level of nerdy.
I just feel like there's an atmosphere. I don't know. It is nerdy, but it's not as nerdy as, say, that person who is like alone and builds models of Gundams or something, which is awesome because that's what he used to do.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's like probably the most nerdy thing that I've done was that, and it was a ton of fun. You know how fun it is just to get a Gundam model and just like sit down for 3 hours and build a Gundam. I don't even know Gundam. I haven't even watched that show. It's just fun to build a robot.
I know.
They're cheaper than Legos.
That's true. They are. I was gonna say that I would do the same thing, but with the Star Wars Legos, which came in like 15 million pieces, and you had to build them slowly over the course of 5 weeks.
Just on your floor, and then you accidentally kick one,
or step on it,
and the Death Star all of a sudden has now 2 exhaust ports. Okay, where was I?
You were asking me how my week was.
Dude, who's really excited talking about fucking League. You should play League. Play League. Just try it.
Fine, I'll try it at some point. I just gotta get my stuff together. I gotta finish.
How's Zoo Tycoon going?
See, the thing is, going to that island really messed with my schedule because I had the 3 videos that I made them for that week, and then if I wouldn't have gone to the island, I would have been able to be a week or 2 in advance making videos. But instead, I went over there, and then I came back, and then I had to deal with some application stuff for a master's program, and it's really messed with my schedule making videos wise. So I've been trying to basically catch up. And then we've been trying to make the changes that we've been trying to make to the channel. So I've been working on that as well, and I've been rather busy trying to do a bunch of stuff. And then
with what?
And then tomorrow,
Grad's in it. I have more time.
And then tomorrow, I also have to go to the rainforest all day, and then Saturday I have to go to the rainforest all day as well. So
I think your research is just way more involved because my research, I walk into a lab and I sit down and I press a button for like an hour, and then I'm like, that looks good. I get a bunch of numbers, and then I go home. While you were like, I have to be in the rainforest catching birds and kissing them. You're my Valentine.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Wait, you're gonna be in the rainforest for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in the rainforest for Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Man.
And the funny thing is, the way that the research works in the rainforest that I'm going to be doing the research in, or at least that I am doing the research in on Fridays, is basically doing acoustic stuff. So what that means is I sit and hang out with an isolated bird. He's been isolated, or she, from the rest of the flock, or the captive flock. And he's been placed in a cage by himself. And basically, my job is to record any and all vocalizations. So I have to stay with this bird alone without any contact because we can't have sounds from the outside for 5-6 hours or something.
What do you do during that time? Do you use Reddit?
I am alone with my thoughts, and it's terrifying.
Seriously, what do you do?
I read, think.
That sounds awful.
I don't really have good
Think.
I don't have cell phone connection there.
Oh god.
So it's just being surrounded by nature with said bird. Last time I tend to get there at around like 8 or so, and I start 8:30, you know, and I go from 8 or 8:30. Last time I left at like 2. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 6 hours.
Just going insane, weren't you? You started talking to the bird.
No, you can't talk to you can't make any noise. You can't make any noise at all.
Why not just put a tape recorder where the bird is? Why do you have to be there?
Because you have to make sure that the recordings don't last a bazillion years. You have to grab specifically that bird's sound, and you have to identify that it was that bird. Because if you leave a tape recorder, it could be any other bird anywhere else. You have to isolate the sound to the bird, and you have to have it on record that it was that bird.
That sounds like the worst.
Well, I really don't mind it, so.
That just sounds awful.
So that's going to be my Valentine. And now you know what I did my entire week, which was prepare for the upcoming changes to PostGrad's YouTube channel, PostGrad Games. You can type that into the search bar, PostGrad Games, and we will pop right up. We totally monopolize the entire thing if you type in PostGrad Games.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, so that was basically my week. Oh, but also, I watched Gravity again.
The movie or like people falling?
No, the movie with my family, actually.
How'd your family react to it? Because we all know that you're in love with it.
Oh, yeah.
So how did your family react to it?
They loved it. My mom and dad thought it was a fantastic movie.
Did you see it in 3D?
No, 2D.
Ah.
See, the thing is, I wanted to watch it in 2D because I wanted to see if there was a difference between the 2D and the 3D. I mean, there was, but it's still 100% watchable in 2D. It's still It's still beautiful. It's still amazing. And I realized something. I realized that the first time that you watch the movie, it's a thrill ride, like if you were on a roller coaster the entire time. And the second time that you watch the movie, you really get the emotions of the characters a lot more. So you ended up, at least me, really feeling for this character's transition and the character's story arc, Sandra Bullock's, Ryan Stone's.
And you already knew it as well.
Yeah.
So you know
that she's gonna make it, but it doesn't matter because you still identify with her emotions every single time. And that final scene where she's plummeting to earth and she's breaking up and you got the choir in the background. Oh my god. It is some frisson right there. It is just shivers the whole time, and it's beautiful, and you're there and you're going like, it's okay if you die. And just, it's amazing. It's great. It was so good. It was so good. And honestly, I can say that it is one of my favorite movies of all time, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely top 40.
Top 40. I can't choose favorites. I'm really bad at it. So I'm just like, oh, top X amount of movies, but in no particular order because I can't pick favorites. But I can say that it is definitely one of my favorite movies, and I am going to buy that movie on Blu-ray as soon as it comes out.
3D?
No, just Blu-ray.
Oh.
I mean, if it comes in with the option of 3D, sure, but I'm not gonna buy a 3D TV.
My aunt has one, so I might like buy it and then try it on her. Anyway.
Yeah. But the point is, it was amazing. It was the music, the everything. The everything in that stupid movie is so good. And there's just not I can't just you can't explain it. It's just an amazing movie. It really is.
It is. Yeah. I totally agree. And I feel like the audience or the critics also agree. But I could totally see somebody being like, that movie was lame.
I just don't understand.
They're wrong. They're very wrong. But
I just don't understand them because, at least personally for me, I really, really, you know this, I really like looking for metaphors and symbolism and stuff like that in the cinematography and in the movie. And
Right.
this movie was just, it was like poetry on the screen.
It is, but I think also it's a little bit different than other movies because the scenes are longer. There's not a lot of quick cuts. The action is a little bit slower paced. Not slower paced, but it's not like quick cut. So you kind of get the feeling that maybe it's not as exciting because of that, which I think it worked out pretty well. But I can totally understand why somebody would be more on a very, very basic level, be more entertained by, say, The Expendables than Gravity, which is completely wrong. But I get it. It's like you're looking at a movie simply for stimuli to enter your eyes and for your brain to light up of, oh my god, something's on the screen, but not to deeply consciously think about it.
Right.
So I can understand people of low intelligence. That's what I'm trying to say, apparently.
Right. Right.
That's not what I mean. It's just
What you're saying is meatheads will like Expendables and will just hate Gravity.
no. I think they'll enjoy Gravity. I feel like there's definitely a lack of craziness. You know what I mean? For being in such like, don't go in expecting aliens. You know, because it's not, and it's not supposed to be, and you're stupid. I don't like insulting people, but if you don't like Gravity, just fuck you. God
All right, I can see how you feel about this.
Like I could love you as a person, but just a little piece of me would be like, oh, god damn it.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. Why?
It's one of those things where if you were in a relationship with a girl, it would be make or break kind of thing. You're like, it's if the girl hasn't seen Star Wars and you show her Star Wars and she doesn't like it, that might be a make or break thing in a relationship. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Yeah, it is.
My girlfriend hasn't seen. Well, she saw the originals and said they were stupid, and I'm like, I know. The movies are kind of all bad. The bad movies, man. I love the universe and I love Star Wars.
I will kill you.
God, episode 1 through 3, even 4, it's pretty bad.
I think episode 3 is great. Episode
3 is pretty good, but it's not like amazing.
Episode 3 is great. I love episode 3.
I had to watch it again. It's been years.
Episode 4, A New Hope, is good.
It's all right. Yeah.
Episode 5 is where it's at. The Empire Strikes Back is
totally.
phenomenal.
So
But yeah.
Jedi,
Star Wars is great, and I think that Gravity is a make or break thing, kind of for a relationship, because you can see how a person relates or deals with movies based on the movies that they like or how they are as a person. So
Right.
if they don't like Gravity, you're like, okay, so you're this type of a person, and it might be a make or break thing.
And I mean, it's totally biased, and it's totally not based in any truth whatsoever. But at the same time, if you can't appreciate art, then there's something there. You know what I mean? And I think it's really what it comes down to. It's not because you didn't like this movie; it's because you don't appreciate art. If you don't find even if you don't like it, but you are unable to find artistic value within it, there's an issue. I think if it comes to dating, especially.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Like Superbad, masterpiece. One of my favorites.
I have to see it again because I didn't like it, and you know this. But
so good.
While we were driving back from the movie theater,
Yeah.
I was sort of recalling the final scenes from Gravity where she's underwater, and I thought, hey, you know, it'd be great if Alfonso Cuarón's next movie is exactly the same as Gravity, except underwater, and he calls it Buoyancy.
Oh God. Oh God. Can we move on?
Yeah. So anyway, another movie that we saw this week in theaters is The Monuments Men. So let's get right onto it. On IMDb, it's got a 6.7. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 34 with a 32% top critic score. And on Metacritic, it's got a 52%. It is directed by Mr. Clooney, and it stars Mr. Clooney himself, Matt Damon, Bill Murray, Cate Blanchett, John Goodman, Jean Dujardin, Hugh Bonneville, Bob Balaban, Dimitri Leonidas, and a ton of other amazing people. It's got a
John Goodman,
star-studded
Bill Murray.
cast, and it was a movie. So, what is your one-sentence review? Go.
What movie are we talking about again?
The Monuments Men.
Right, but that's what I just displayed is how forgettable it really is. Your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally forgot what movie we watched this week until literally I was like, oh yeah, it was Monuments Men. That movie was pretty okay.
So
that's my one sentence review. And it was a badly constructed sentence, but a sentence nonetheless.
So my one sentence review is Ocean's 11 meets historical drama and fails.
What movie are we talking about again?
I think we were talking about that one Thanksgiving one. Freebirds.
With John Goodman? Freebirds. That was a great movie. I totally remember that one.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, let's...
So Monuments Men.
Yeah, let's start talking about freaking Monuments Men. First of all, you know it's going to be a great movie because they say the name of the movie in the movie.
Well...
Like 15 times. They could have gotten away with it with saying it, I don't know, once or something, but no.
They were Monuments Men. Totally okay.
Yeah.
I think that's more forgivable because that's what they called themselves.
Oh, come on. That was the equivalent of Matt Damon running around going like, Matt Damon! That's exactly what happened. Except they were all running around going like, Monuments Man! The entire time.
I guess it was just like the Expendables.
But the Expendables was doing it.
We are part of his crew.
They were doing it on purpose.
I know.
In the Monuments Men, they were doing it completely, like, seriously. They were going like, yeah, we're Monuments Men. Yeah. We're here to protect art. The Monuments Men. Oh, look, they named themselves something. Oh, it's just as cliche as our name. The Monuments Men. It was, oh my God. Oh my God.
Speaking of repetitive things that I didn't like, how about the fade transitions?
Right?
Oh my God.
Now
there are so many fade transitions.
I love the fact, I hate fades. And there was one editor, I forget who he's called, what his name is, and he said that usually what he tells people when he's going to work in one of their movies, or he tells the director, he says, okay, you have 3 fades and then no more. that is all you get. So,
well, they're just not good.
It was trying to show the passage of time, and then,
but it wasn't time, it was a passage of location.
And did you see that it started like they got less, they started disappearing by the end of the film, even though time and locations were changing too? It was so weird.
I'm guessing it's because the scene before perhaps wasn't done, or they were trying to think of a better transition and they just couldn't. I you know what I mean? Like, it almost, like, the first half of that movie felt undercooked. It felt like they had to do fades because they literally ran out of time and they're just like, fuck it, fades everything.
So what you're saying is,
we have a week to get this to finish this movie. Fade, 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 and it's just like the editors are sitting at the desk like, oh my God, I'm pressing the fade button as fast as I can. And yeah, because by the end of that movie, I was like, this is well made. But the beginning of that movie, I was like, this is garbage. So
yeah, see, it was one of those things where the entire first half of the movie felt like exposition. The movie.
Hitler's building a museum? Fade into Paris. There's a woman in Paris working for the Nazis? Fade into Clooney. Clooney's getting the monuments? Fade back to Nazis.
We need a transition to when they're all together. Fade to the mock-up of the museum. Zoom in on the swastika.
We need to check in with the girl at Perry for absolutely no reason. Fade into that. We need to check on Matt Damon when he's in Perry. Fade into Matt Damon. That part, by the way, there's definitely some scenes that should have been just completely
gone, right?
Cut out. There was no reason for Matt Damon to be talking to that one guy in Paris for a good, like, 15 minutes or like 10 minutes maybe. But when he's riding on the wagon, then he goes into the house, and then he's in a plane, and then he's in Paris, and you didn't need any of this. That had nothing to do with this movie, and it wasn't even funny, and it wasn't good. And why did you leave that in there? There's literally transitioned from a scene where they're, I think, either killing Nazis or fighting something, and then it fades into Matt Damon arriving on a wagon and then entering a house, and then it fades back to something else. And I'm just, why?
Yep.
Why did you need to cue Matt Damon's arrival to a random village? And he does nothing there, by the way. He does absolutely nothing there. All he does is get a ride to Paris. You could have literally transitioned to the part where he enters Paris and it would have been exactly the same.
Yep, exactly. I know.
Great job.
I think that Clooney did an awful job as the director. Honestly, he did.
That being said, the cinematography and some of the directing in those scenes were phenomenal. Like, this is a movie, a rare case, where the parts are greater than the sum.
Sometimes, only sometimes. The entire thing was but there were like 5 or 6 moments where you're like, "Hey, what movie am I watching? This is a pretty cool move." Up, fade. That is exactly what happened.
No, but like literally, if you take this like piece by piece, because the way that the movie presents itself is almost piece by piece.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
here's a little vignette. Here's a little vignette. Here's a
It
little
seems
vignette.
like it should have been like a History Channel thing where it's like a mini series and you follow each one individually or something like that, and then in the end they all come together.
Yeah, that would have actually been
That would have
awesome.
been great.
That would so good and so, but like the scene where at the camp and it's Christmas and John Goodman's family leaves the message or whatever, and the person's dying. That whole scene was fantastic.
Yep, it was.
That was a legitimately great scene. It had nothing to do with the rest of the movie, but it was well filmed. It was well acted. There was great cinematography, fantastic lighting. It was artistic.
Yep.
And but that was like a showcase of how juxtaposed this movie really is, how it can go for something masterful to something complete, like, what, why,
Yep.
why'd you do that? And I, like I said, this movie is something you have to take the by piece, and the pieces are better than the whole, because as a whole you're kind of like, that was pretty underwhelming, but if you know that one scene, that was fantastic. So it's a weird jumbled mess.
Yeah, and I felt that it dragged on and on and on and on and on. It wasn't.
Yeah,
It
with
was.
no build up.
Yeah, there was no build up. There was no nothing, and the tension was only present in individual scenes. It wasn't present as a whole over the entire thing.
Right. I think the only thing stringing it together was the fact they were trying to find this one piece of art because their buddy liked it.
And he died for it or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of a really flimsy story. They started off as something awesome, you turned it into something that Sylvester Stallone could be a part of.
He could.
The same motives of Sylvester Stallone.
He could.
My buddy died for this. I need to avenge him. Like, seriously, if you add just like 60 pounds of steroid muscle to those characters, it would have been the same movie.
It would have been The Expendables.
Yeah. And at least you'd have an excuse for poor directing and cinematography. Actually, you're right. That would have been the same movie. Because they could have even had that stupid sappy Christmas scene and it would have been the fucking same.
And they could have also had that scene where he steps on the landmine and it would have been the same.
The humor was on par with it, for sure. I mean, I enjoyed those scenes. I thought that scene was pretty great.
It was pretty great.
Yeah. And I fully enjoyed,
like, him walking up going like, I might have stepped on a landmine, him going like, why would you do that? And then they keep talking, and then the other guys show up and they go like, hey, you stepped on a landmine, and then they go, why would you do that? It's like, that's what I said. That was
no, it was
yeah, there were some legitimately funny moments, but overall the movie was just not worth it. It was not a good movie.
What was up with Matt Damon's romance with the girl in Perry?
Yeah,
that was weird.
how it
That was
all of a
weird.
sudden happened in one scene, and then he's like, no, I'm a married man. I can't do things with you, Kate Blanchett. I'm leaving. Here's the tie. I'll give it back to you later. Woo, Matt Damon. That's all that happened. That's what
I
happened.
like Matt Damon as an actor.
That
Damn.
is what happened in that scene.
But it was so weird. It was like, I'm not gonna give you these secret files, not because you're actually good people, but because I want to jump you. And you're like, okay, I guess you can just throw away her independent motives right there.
It's Paris, and this is war.
Happy Valentine's Day, Matt Damon.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Brought to you by the wonderful acting of Matt Damon and Kate
Matt
Blanchett.
Damon Day. They should change it to Matt Damon Day. Valentine's Day is Matt Damon Day. Matt Damon.
PostGrad wishes you a happy Matt Damon Day.
Matt Damon Day. Matt Damon. Dude.
Oh my god. All right, so I think honestly, I think we're done because that's all that there is to be said about that movie.
What movie were we talking about? Seriously. Can I just say Bill Murray was great, John Goodman was good, the guy who played that one dude was good, the short one.
The French guy. I like the French guy.
Yeah, he was
He was
cool.
cool.
Yeah, like all the characters were totally likable, and I think this just makes it more disappointing because this could have been a good movie instead of just, like I said, it was like I think you described it perfectly. How this could have been a mini series on history, and it would have been awesome.
If they would have taken more time, less fades, less blah, and you would have had a great movie.
Man, that scene where the French guy dies, that was pretty touching.
That was.
By the way, why did John Goodman start using a cane after that?
Because he got shot by one of the bullets.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, I totally forgot that. It's like the rest of the goddamn movie. All right.
All right. So anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and move on because that's
Matt Damon
honestly
Day.
that's all we can say about it. Monuments Men. If you're really interested in watching it, just wait till it comes out on some media form, whatever. It's really just a really whatever movie.
It's a movie where they save art, but they can't save their own art. How ironic.
It's it's definitely not a 6.7 like on IMDb. It's definitely not a 52 like on Metacritic. I don't know if it's a 34 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think that's way too low.
I think
I can agree with the 50.
I think
or
it's
60.
I think it's like a 40, 45.
I could put it a little bit higher. Like I said, some of those scenes were some of the best I've seen, or as good as some of the scenes I've seen. It's just as a whole, it's
Yeah.
50, 60, 50 sounds about right.
All right.
Anyway,
moving on to our Netflix movie spotlight, totally not sponsored by Netflix yet. We have.
when is that going to happen? By the way, when is Netflix going to realize that we're awesome?
I have no idea. Maybe someday,
Probably
Cognitive Gamer. Maybe someday. So
we watched another documentary.
yeah, we watched another Oscar-nominated documentary called Cutie and the Boxer.
And the what?
And the Boxer.
And the boxer.
Boxer. On IMDb, it's got a 7.3. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 96% with a 92 top critic score. And on Metacritic, it's got an 82%. It is directed by Zachary Heinzerling. Heinzerling. And it stars the Shinohara couple and family, more or less. So it's Noriko, Ushio, and Alex. And all of these, I suppose, are interviewed and or appear in the actual movie. So give your one-sentence review. Go.
A touching look at a couple that put art before themselves.
An interesting lens into the lives of people, of artists, that I guess ended up biting more than they could chew and misrepresenting themselves to each other. So it's sort of the portrait of a couple that everyone wonders why is still together.
I mean, like, yes and no.
So
like they definitely.
So
like
yeah,
each other.
let's start talking about it then.
Okay.
Okay, so given that this is the Valentine's Day special, we are
God.
obviously talking about relationships and all that jazz, and this movie is
Right.
really, really, really explorative, explorinificator of
Sorry,
what
fucking words.
it is,
Sorry.
what it is
What?
like to be in a relationship that's kind of dysfunctional, but there's still love. It's so weird. It is so weird. So let's start talking about it. Go for it, Cognitive Gamer. What were you gonna say?
Well, do you want to say that they can win something?
Oh, we'll do that at the end.
Okay.
Go for it.
So I thought it was very interesting because, I mean, Nariko was young and impressionable. I think she even said that in the movie.
Yep.
And she got swept away by a man in America who was a great artist. He was recognized as a great artist. Unfortunately, he made no money.
Yep.
And so I think that's the first strain on their relationship is just the fact that, actually, I described a lot of strains in that sentence. Just the fact, one, they had no money, which sucks. Which puts essentially it's like that double-edged sword of his art can sell, but Nariko wants to be recognized for her art, but is always overshadowed by his art.
By him.
But his art is the one that makes money. So it's kind of like she doesn't have a choice but to back down, even though it kills her on the inside to not be recognized for her art.
Right. Yeah.
And the movie plays around with that, with how, and I totally get this from like I've been in a relationship with creative people, and it's sometimes hard to recognize other people's creativity because you want yours to be better always.
Right.
And you know, that's kind of a crappy thing, and you have to look past it, and it's something you definitely have to learn to do. And then, you know, it's just, sometimes cause I don't think they ever complimented each other's work. I think, quite honestly, Nariko thinks his work is kind of bullshit. And
Well, she thinks
at times.
she likes his work. She sees it for what it is, and she sees that it is great. But if it's not good, or if she doesn't think it's good, she will tell him. Like she told him when he said that he was gonna go in a different route with his newer paintings, and then she just walks by and she goes like, "I don't like it," and I was like, "Oh my god."
How could you not like it? It would look the same as his other stuff. So I just don't. I think she really liked his craft with the cardboard and
The
everything.
motorcycles
Like,
were phenomenal.
the motorcycles were so cool,
They
and I
were
think she
great.
really liked those.
They were great.
But I don't think she liked his paintings because they were just kind of. I mean, he made them to make money. Bottom line. So.
And they were
Well,
also the same. I mean, the boxing thing is really cool, but they were really the same.
would you buy one for like 10 grand?
No
100
way.
grand?
Buy
way,
one of the
man.
boxing. I would buy one of the motorcycles.
Yeah.
Those were legit and really cool.
Yeah.
But the boxing, not necessarily.
Not even cool.
No,
Not even,
no way.
I mean, he made one on screen, and it took like a minute.
Yeah.
And then he tried to sell it for hundreds of dollars.
And that was one of the things where I was like, when they were in the random exhibit or whatever, and they were going like, "How long did it take you?" And then he was like, "Ha ha ha, like a minute." And Noriko was like, more like 2.5. And then there was like nervous laughter, and I was like, "Oh, you shouldn't have told them that it took you that little to make it."
But quite honestly, like, that's probably a lot of great works of art probably only take like a Monet. Like those probably couldn't take more than a day. It's not, I don't know. Is it a Monet? Is Monet the one? I'm not so great with art.
See,
And
okay.
it's a shame.
The thing is, what you're saying is not Monet, but modern art doesn't take more than 5 minutes or something.
But that's not always true either. So it's the expressionism art, so it's more about the feelings. So I could totally get why somebody would buy one of his earlier works because it was about kind of like being anarchist. It was about being
Right,
young and
yeah,
rebellious.
yeah.
And that's why he did it with boxing gloves. And when he was young, it looked awesome. Like I would totally buy one of those.
Right, yeah.
Like he had energy. But the new ones where he's like an 80-year-old man punching a board and he's like, whatever, I just shat on a canvas, sell it for hundreds of dollars.
See, it was the whole intro with the Cutie and the Boxer thing. It was almost sad watching him box.
Yeah.
It really, really was almost sad to watch this 80-something-year-old guy just work himself almost to death, because you could see that he was really struggling by the end to finish the actual painting that he made in the intro sequence. And it was really, I don't know, it was really emotional, but for the opposite reasons as it was in the beginning when he started making his actual art.
Yeah, it was kind of uneasy, you know?
Yeah. The art was the same, but the feeling was different.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, then it switched over to Nariko, and I think the whole movie maybe started off with displaying Ushio, with displaying him and his work, but then it kind of moved to his wife because she's had to be around through his alcoholism, pretty much raising a child.
Well, I mean, it started with Noriko. It started with her.
Right. But I almost feel like while they were filming, they're like, oh, like maybe that's how the project started, was like, I want to film you. And then it switched over to her because she's definitely the one in the background that has a tragic story of maybe not loving him anymore.
Right.
But at the same time loving him. And I don't know. It's tough to say, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And at the same time, he's just kind of like, love life, whatever.
Yeah, and he's also really, I guess he's really unmoving in the way that he deals with the relationship. He's very kind of cold, and he's also very stalwart in the way that he, in how he believes certain things to work, I guess, in the relationship. And you can see sometimes that throughout the course of the movie, Noriko got a lot more comfortable with the camera and was able to say more to his face about how she felt. And you could tell that he was a little bit at odds and kind of nervous about hearing this while she was saying it. Like it caused him, I don't know, it caused him a little bit of unease to be hearing this from her. because it seems as though they never really talked about it until the cameras actually showed up to do the documentary.
Right. Well, I mean, her whole like new art project was essentially to reflect back on her life, which was they were young, they loved art, and they decided to do art for life. Like,
Yeah, but also he took advantage of her. He took advantage of her innocence.
yes and no.
Oh, he totally did. He totally did.
Why? He gave her exactly what he promised, which was we can both do art in the studio forever,
Dude,
and that's what
he
they
said
did.
he said you can use my studio to do your art.
And she did.
Then she did that. He took her out, brought her back, had sex with her, and asked her for money the next day.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Okay, come on.
He was kind of a slime ball.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now less so a little bit, but
Well, he's also 80.
yeah. But when he was younger, he really appeared like a slime ball. But he appeared like a slime ball that had a lot of insecurities. So I mean, I know where he's coming from in being a slime ball, but I don't know. It was really off-putting to him as a person from my perspective.
Yeah. So let's talk about how the movie was made, like more from a technical side. The cinematography was good.
Yes.
It was
The directing was good as
well
well.
filmed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it was a well filmed documentary. But compared to the other ones we've seen, I don't think it will win.
Oh, well, yeah. But
As far as importance, I mean, it may win. I just don't think it should. It's better than Dirty Wars.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, I don't want to talk about this until we actually do the full Oscars episode
Okay.
the week
All
before
right.
the Oscars. That's when we'll actually start fighting about what we think.
The acting was great then. The script writing was pretty good.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah.
No, they were
Cinema.
no, it was good. It was a movie that really, I don't know. It was one of those movies that is meant to elicit a lot of emotions from you regarding relationships. You sort of start thinking back. You're like, hey, if I was in her shoes or if I was in his shoes, what would I do?
Right. It's also to pimp their work for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm sure that this guy sold a lot of work and she did too. Her probably more so.
Hopefully. I mean, that was probably the idea.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, they're an interesting couple. I mean, he has a legacy. He was really famous in the 70s, 60s.
Yeah, something like that. One of those
Yeah, I
years.
mean, there's pictures of him with Andy Warhol, and they're like, "Yo, art." So
Yep. Exactly. So, in your opinion, Cognitive Gamer, do you think that their relationship worked? Do you think that they should have stayed with each other in the long run? Do you think they made the right choice?
I mean, that's a tough call, right? Like, she got pregnant very quickly after marriage. And she had to raise a kid, and after you're done with that, it's 20 years later. And then, I mean, she was already having doubts because of his alcoholism. They have a kid, and they raised the child.
Who turned out to be an alcoholic?
Yeah, well, they didn't really concentrate too much on that. Like, it was just suspected that he was, but we don't know.
But a pretty decent painter. I liked his painting. It was cool.
I like this painting a lot, yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I wonder what he's up to. I wish they just said what he's doing, but maybe it's really sad. So who
Right,
knows?
yeah.
It's 20 years later, and what do you do then? You're 40 something years old. You're with a 60-year-old person, and the only trait you have is painting. You have zero money.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not to say you didn't like him,
Right.
this guy. I mean, you probably did, and you do. It's just what happens, You're in a position, you're going to divorce him, and then you're going to go live with your sister in the South, and then her husband is a jerk, and then she has a new boyfriend, and then you meet somebody and you lie
And you lie to
about
them.
being an interior designer.
Right, and then your friend hooks up with Louis C.K. and
yeah. No, but seriously, like, what do you do after, 30 years and you have zero money?
yeah,
And he's the one making the money. And
it
what,
really
you're
is
gonna
a
leave
it
and then
really
go
is a
live on the
catch-22.
street?
It really is a catch-22. Though they really showed that when he was gone, she was really free. When he left to Tokyo, and she was pretty happy, just kind of walking around doing what she wanted and actually being free. It honestly did feel like there was a weight that was lifted off, because while he was around, there was sort of this brooding atmosphere, like if there was tension in the air, you know?
Well, it's also the fact that, you know, when he's around, it's business. You know, it's back to work because his life is work. It's because he makes the money, and when he's back, you have to make the money. So I don't know if if it was because, you know, she actually had a couple days to breathe. She didn't have to be at any shows. She didn't have to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But at the same time, it makes you wonder if what this guy did is in whole or in part because of Noriko, you know?
Right. No, of
Is
course.
this guy's continued success because of her help and because of her continued presence in his life?
I don't think
If
she should be allowed to talk to the people that are trying to buy the paintings because she was not a very good saleswoman.
well, she was, except
No, she wasn't.
she in the beginning she was, because the dude was just talking and not being very good at convincing them to buy the paintings. She was trying to help, but by the end she was like, whatever.
Yeah.
By the end she got a lot more rebellious, but I do think that this guy's continued success is partially, at least partially, to do with Noriko and her being
Oh, of
there.
course.
So I would wonder, or it would beg the question, that if she had divorced him earlier on, maybe after the kid was 10 or something, if he would have still remained relevant, at least somewhat, to this day, you know?
I mean, who knows? I mean, these are hypothetics. We have no idea.
Right.
I mean, we don't even know the extent of their relationship or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
it just goes to show what different people in a relationship bring to the table.
Right. No, of course.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very complex movie, and you can leave that movie with a lot of different perspectives, but I think that the main one is that relationships are freaking complicated. Relationships are like roar. Love is like roar.
I also think he was threatened by her, you know? He knows that she's way more intelligent. He knows
Oh
that
yeah,
she's a good
definitely.
painter.
That's true. And
I
you
think there's also some tradition in there too.
There is definitely, but you could see all that you're talking about when she said, "Hey, you can take a look at my art," to the guy near the end of the movie, and the guy goes over and starts looking at her art, and you can see that Ushio is kind of like pacing and looking at the art and going like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely art." You know, just kind of like hanging out and looking at it, and the other guy starting to talk about, "Oh, we should have a double exhibit or whatever." And after they leave, just her complexion was so, I don't know, it was so complex. It was painful, but at the same time it was really nice because it was one of those things where she was trying to fight a smile, you know?
Right.
Like it was the first time that she got recognized, and it was really bittersweet. It really was. I don't know, it was a very complex emotion that I was feeling at that moment.
I think it's also, you know, he knows if she gets big that she'll leave him.
I mean, like we've been talking about, this entire movie
Valentine's
is
Day.
very complex, and it's definitely a good movie for relationships and stuff
fun.
like that. It's a
Oh.
pretty cool documentary.
I thought you were gonna say for Valentine's Day, I'm like, you should not watch this on
No, no,
Valentine's
don't watch it
Day.
on
That would be
Valentine's Day.
depressing.
No.
No.
But
You want sappy crap.
yeah, you want, yeah, just crap. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. I mean, maybe not to watch on Matt Damon Day, but I mean,
Well, Matt Damon Day, you should watch a Matt Damon movie. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. So yeah, Cutie and the Boxer, pretty good movie. Go watch it. I don't know if
go watch
it's
it.
I don't know if it's a 96%. I think it's maybe
Nah.
like a 90%. It's a
Upper 80s.
it's a good movie. It really is a good movie.
Yeah.
And I think that the way that they ended it at the end with the credits, with them boxing
was
each
great.
other, was
That was
so
so cool.
great. It was the perfect description of the entire movie, just with that.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I love how he didn't throw a punch either. It was just Nariko beating the crap out
It,
of him.
it was like not go. What do you? Oh god! Oh god! And he was covered in paint by the end. It was,
And he's like laughing, and she's just like, ah!
he was laughing, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you laugh, you freaking laugh right now." It was great. It was so fantastic. Oh my god. But yeah, good movie. Watch it, and tune in for the Oscars movie when we talk about it some more. So anyway, moving on to new to DVD and Blu-ray and theaters. First up,
we gonna talk about the contest where they can win a Matt Damon Day
Oh
prize.
yeah, that's true. So
So we're gonna. So if you if you please email us to postgradentertainment@gmail.com,
or
go to our Facebook page.
Or go to our Facebook page and post when we post this episode live. We'll post a link to our Facebook page, and if you comment on that, you will be entered into a drawing for what will we give him?
We'll give him a Matt Damon Day prize.
We'll give him a Matt.
It's a mystery.
How about this? We will,
no.
We will.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, we will.
The mystery Matt Damon Valentine.
All right. I can totally.
Matt Damon Day
we'll send you a Matt Damon Valentine.
Yeah.
So
it won't be Matt Damon. We don't know him that well.
I don't know if it'll be Matt Damon or not.
Call him Mr. Damon.
But be very careful. He's married and he's probably not going to do anything with you.
You don't know that. This is Paris and war.
This is. So yes, we will send you a Matt Damon lovey-dovey prize. So I hope to read emails and or comments on Facebook. So definitely let us know.
And yes, so please email us, postgradentertainment@gmail.com, or go to our Facebook, or even go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and then hit, just comment on a random video and say, hey, I'm here for that one contest. And we'll be like, yeah, Matt Damon. So, if Matt Damon, if you're listening to this, you also can win. You can win your self-day prize.
We send him a letter that gives him instructions on what to do to himself. Or say hi to yourself, go to a nice movie with yourself, not Monuments Men, and
hug yourself very tightly. Just
and never let go, Matt Damon. Never let go.
All right, so what's new on DVD and the Blues?
Okay, so new to DVD and Blu-ray.
They make a band name and call them the DVD and the Blues.
That's actually a pretty cool name. I'm gonna write that down. So new to DVD and Blu-ray, we have Sherlock, the season, which is basically like a movie, so I decided to include it.
Wait, the new season?
Yeah, I think it's the new season. Also, we have Ender's Game, The Best Man Holiday, All Is Lost, Austenland, The Jungle Book, Platinum Edition, Diana, Grace Unplugged, The Counselor, Life of a King, GBF, and How I Live Now. There are a lot of DVDs coming out this week.
It's because everybody's going to be cuddled in bed all day.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, you remember How I Live Now, the movie that I said that I was interested in watching earlier, a long time ago? It's the love story that takes place in England where they're together before the apocalypse, then it happens, and it's how she and he work through a relationship after there's the whole curfews and the apocalypse thing going down. So it's a pretty interesting film, and I thought that it was going to be a pretty cool thing to watch. And for the record, it's got a 67 or something on Rotten Tomatoes, so I kind of want to watch it.
It's not my jazz, man. It's not my jazz.
You know what? I'm going to tell your girlfriend just so she tries to find it, and you're screwed and have to watch it.
I don't have to do everything that she says or likes. Just most things.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, whatever.
Right.
Whatever. But yeah.
So that's cool. There's stuff that you can rent in Redbox or watch on Netflix or in a couple months or whatever.
Yeah, so I guess it'll...
Yeah, none of those sounded good.
What?
None of those movies sounded too great.
Well, I mean, there's Ender's Game.
Yeah, that was all right.
And The Jungle Book.
That's pretty good. So what's new in... What's new in theaters?
Well, new in theaters.
Hey, what's new in theaters, partner?
So new in theaters, we have About Last Night, Robocop, Winter's Tale, Endless Love, and in limited release, Adult World and Jimmy P.
So Robocop.
So I don't know if it'll come out during this week or whatever in Puerto Rico, but if it does, we should talk Lego Movie and Robocop next week. That's my vote.
Next week should just be a Lego Movie episode where we just talk about the Lego Movie.
Lego Movie? Only Lego Movie?
Oh, there's no news. It's all Lego movies.
Nothing important happened. We played with Legos. No, okay, it's fine. We'll decide and we'll
figure it out. Yeah, no, yeah.
All right. So anyway, moving on to news, we have Will Ferrell is creating, so to speak, a TV and film production company that is exclusively female focused.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean,
is he married?
I don't know.
Because that would be a good way of finding a wife.
That's awful. That is awful.
Make a production company to get some. George Clooney would do that.
He would. He does seem like the
would.
type.
Matt Damon would probably do that.
Well, he already has a day, so I don't see what the point is in making a production company. If you already have a day named after you, which is the Day of Love, the Matt Damon Day, I don't see.
Day. It's like medical doctor.
Mickey D Day.
So Matthew D Day.
Matthew D Day. So anyway,
it's like a D Day of
the next
the beaches of Matthew.
So anyway,
what else happened?
The other bit of news.
Exciting.
The other bit of news is not really news, but I wanted to touch on it because I mentioned the fact that I had seen The Purge recently, and it's the fact that The Purge's sequel thing just came out with a trailer. That means that it took what, a year for them to make a second Purge?
Yeah.
That's like Paranormal Activity level right there.
Yeah, man.
It's impressive. I don't know. What did you think of the trailer?
It was kind of garbage.
Really? Really?
It was okay. Oh no, the car can't start. Oh, it's a horror movie. Oh my god, there's guys in masks on motorcycles. We better be careful. And that was the end of the trailer.
Well, yeah, it was when you put it that way.
No, I think it looks interesting, but it looks like Mad Max.
It looks better than what The Purge actually was. So, because that's what I wanted The Purge to be, you know? I wanted it to be a glimpse into what happens during the actual Purge. And this might actually be that. Though I kind of disagree with the people wearing masks, unless they explain it as some sort of cultural thing that branched out of the actual event. Because
I think they're all related and they're like a gang.
Well, yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, you know how sometimes cultures will spring up around certain things, like certain people that
from the original.
No, certain people that really like something and then make a whole culture around it, like the Star Wars culture or something like that.
Like Juggalos, like insane clown posse people.
Yeah, sure, okay. Like stuff like that. Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like these people become these personas, which would be a really interesting social kind of thing to include in the movie. I don't think it's going to happen, but
this isn't going to be some kind of documentary set in a fictional world. This is going to be two people. There's going to be a boy and a girl who run around trying not to get stabbed to death.
And their acting
that's what this movie's going to be.
In the beginning was awful. In the beginning of the trailer.
It looks bad.
But it looks better than the original Purge. I'm going to give it a chance because this is what I thought the Purge was.
I'm not saying don't give it a chance. I'm saying don't expect some kind of intellectual, philosophical look at what the Purge is.
But the thing is, it's also coming out in June. So that means that it's a summer blockbuster, which is interesting.
It's not interesting.
It's really interesting because...
Just because a movie comes out in summer does not make it a summer blockbuster.
Well, I know it doesn't make it, but it means that the studio has hopes for that movie, which is the important part.
That's true. That part is true. But it also could be a week where there's nothing and they're like, oh shit, Swarm, The Purge, The Purge. What movie do we have, sir? We have The Purge.
That's true.
Throw it on that day. We have nothing.
That's true. All right. Well, I'm excited. A little bit excited. Yes. So I'm waiting with somewhat apprehension to see how this movie turns out. Anyway, next news on our list is that Wolf of Wall Street became Scorsese's highest grossing film, which is kind of ironic if you think about it.
That's pretty cool, though. That movie was good.
Yeah, no, it definitely was a great movie. So that's pretty cool. Anyway.
What was number 2? Was it
Who's number 2 for Scorsese?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's had a lot of good films, so I'm not.
Shutter Island, perhaps?
It might be Shutter Island, yeah.
I don't know.
So, anyway, the next bit of news is that Akiva Goldsman confirms that they were working on I Am Legend 2 for a very long time, and they had really great plans for a sequel and one of 2 different prequels. So it was going to be either one or the other, and they were 2 pretty good ideas. But it's not going to happen anymore. They've confirmed that they're not working on it anymore. So, good. At least At least in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I don't think they should have made a sequel because the movie ended.
Well, it's not gonna be a Will Smith one though. It's not like Will Smith comes back from the dead or something.
You don't know, man. You don't know. Hollywood does these weird things and brings people back from the dead. I don't know.
That's true. That movie wasn't very good to begin with. So.
I thought it was all right. I liked it.
Yeah, exactly. It was all right.
Yeah.
Way too much hype behind it.
Yeah. Anyway, the last bit of news. Wait, do you have news?
Ubisoft and Sony team up for a Rabbids feature film. So if you don't know what the Rabbids are, there's these like little bunny things that kind of look like minions from Despicable Me. Even though I'm pretty sure these came out before then. But they're from the Rayman games.
Okay, yeah. Oh,
Raving
right,
Rabbids.
Right.
Rayman Raving Rabbids for the Wii. Anyway, but they kind of just spun out and became their own thing because nobody gives a shit about Rayman. And these Rabbids things were adorable.
Like Rayman.
Yeah, but Rayman, it's a very niche market, and these Rabbids, I mean, they had their own cartoon on Nickelodeon for a while, and they have a bunch of games. Yeah,
wow.
Everybody likes little creatures that make nonsensical words and go bah! A lot. So Rabbids, minions, same garbage that I fully enjoy.
Well, yeah.
So think of like more crude and British humored minions, and that's what the Rabbids are. Also, they're bunnies. So
gotcha.
Right. Yeah. I also had no Frozen sequel in development.
No Frozen sequel?
Yeah.
Woo! Yes.
As of right now. So there might be one, but it's not in the front burner, obviously. So there's, and then also this November's animated Big Hero 6 is one of Division's projects, not Marvel Studios per se. So it's a Disney animation that has to do with superheroes, which is awesome.
Really?
And it may or may not be Marvel based.
Huh.
Yep. And that's this year.
Interesting. I hadn't heard about that.
There's a trailer for it. I haven't watched the trailer.
There's a trailer? Okay, let's watch the trailer. We will be right back. Yeah, so that was definitely more of a teaser than a trailer at all.
It's definitely, there are Marvel heroes in it.
Okay.
Or it's Marvel based, but it's not Marvel Studios. It's all Disney Animation Studios.
Right.
I think that's supposed to be the Golden Gate Bridge, right?
It looks like a mix between China stuff and, yeah, the Golden Gate area.
I wonder what it could possibly be. The Big Six? Maybe it's Teen Titans?
That would be cool.
It's probably not going to be Teen Titans.
If
anything, it looks kind of like Big O. That's kind of the feeling I get.
Yeah.
But like for kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. It comes out in November. They'll probably get a trailer here pretty soon.
Yeah, pretty soon. All right. Anything else you got?
No, that's about it.
Okay. So I would like to end this with some pretty fantastic news.
Philip Seymour Hoffman is not dead.
And that news is that Idina Menzel will perform Let It Go live at the Oscars.
So Philip Seymour Hoffman's still dead.
No, this is great news. This is great news. This makes me really excited for the Oscars because they're not going to choose some crappy celebrity to perform it. It's going to be her, and she's phenomenal. And that song was great, and it's nominated for an Oscar, and this means it's probably going to win. So
that's not always true.
That's, yeah, but still, that is awesome. And it makes me really want to watch the Oscars because I'm like, all right,
You're going to watch the Oscars anyway.
Well, I know, but it makes me excited for it. Anyway, that is all the news that we have today. So with that, we will wrap this thing up. So thank you all for watching. I am Cool Guy. Fine. Listening. Jeez. Wow. Way to...
The Cognitive Gamer.
Everyone's a critic
in the name,
on this podcast.
Cool Guy. In the name. I have to be cognitive.
Oh my God. So anyway, you can follow me at The Right Pad, and you can follow him at Cognitive Gamer. You can also check us out on YouTube. We are PostGrad Games. Type that in the search bar, and we pop right up.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our Podomatic. Please go to our Facebook.
And hit like. For all of the updates, it's like a central hub for everything PostGrad. And also, we would like to take this moment to thank our fantastic sponsors at PostGrad Games, VPOgames.com.
VPOgames.com, a website where you can find all your old, pre-owned, and amazing games of the past. And it's on the internet, so you can like tab over from your porn, and you can order a game, and then go right back to porn. It's great!
Brazzers will still be there when you get back.
In fact, it'll be better because you just spent money.
The money that you were gonna spend buying one of their things, you instead spend it at VPO, and that's better because there's tons of tubes for the illegitimate activities that you want, and it's all free.
What kind of tube?
The tubes.
Is that where the internet is?
No, it's like the
Internet is a
YouTube,
series
but
of
for
tubes?
illicit activities.
Are we talking about like tunnels? Like pipes? Tubes?
So thank you all for listening.
Tubas?
We will see you all next week. Take care. Let us know what you think.
Tubs?